Hi everyone, John from the Lux Golf here. Today I'm going to review the Bushnell Launch Pro. This is the most popular premium launch monitor on the market today, and for good reason. It has a ton of features and is super accurate. But it's not perfect, and we're going to cover those flaws so you can decide if this is the best launch monitor for you. Let's see more. The Bushnell Launch Pro was released in late 2021, and it was a result of a relationship that Bushnell had with Foresight Sports. As it turned out, Bushnell's parent company, Vista Outdoors, actually ended up acquiring Foresight Sports in late 2021 as well. So the Bushnell Launch Pro is released, which is basically a clone of the Foresight Sports GC3. So why did they do that? Well, the difference is pricing models. With the GC3, you purchase the unit with a one-time fee and all features are unlocked. So that means you get club data, you get ball data, you can get multiple driving ranges, play on different courses for the lifetime of the unit. Whereas with the Launch Pro, you actually need to pay a subscription, and there's several to choose from, but these are needed in order to unlock the features you want. So their strategy is enable golfers to get into a really high-end launch monitor at a low entry price and then add the features that they want. However, this is one of the main criticisms of the Launch Pro, the subscription model, and we'll talk about this in a bit. All right, let's take a closer look at the unit. I'm going to go ahead and power it on. While that's going on, I'll give you a little bit of a closer look and see exactly what the cameras look like. So 3 cameras on the front. Let me flip it around to the back. And on the back, power button, USB-C, Ethernet port, and for your power cord. And it's, like I said before, it's smaller than you would expect, but feels really, really sturdy. And so it's booting up now. One thing I wanted to point out is that it doesn't have adjustable feet. I feel like this is a bit of an oversight because the unit needs to be at the same height as your hitting surface. So if it isn't, you're going to have to put this on a book or something. Find a small box, anything, so it's at the same level. I feel like they could have designed this so that's included, but it's not a huge deal. So, all right, so we're started up now, and you can see, I mean, you're ready to hit balls right here. You can immediately go. The other part is the alignment stick. And if I put this down, it automatically, as I mentioned before, it will automatically detect the alignment stick. Let me see if I can make it work. I'm in a small space here. But you can see there, I didn't hit anything in the menus, and it can read the alignment sticks there. It's pointing to the right. You actually just try and adjust the unit to get as close to 0 as possible, which is actually really hard to do. And then you're ready. That's pretty good there within 0.1 degrees. Pull this up. You are ready to go. So pretty cool. Enough talk about features and technology. Let's actually start using the Launch Pro. So the first time you start it up, you need to connect it to the internet, register the device. You actually register it through their website, so that's done off the device, but you do need to connect your unit to the internet to sync with that registration. Once that's done, there's going to be an update on it that takes about 5 to 10 minutes. And then once that update is done, you're ready to go. You can literally just set the launch monitor up about 2 feet away from your hitting area, put the ball down and go, and you can start getting readings immediately on the external display. Popular question about the Bushnell Launch Pro is, do you need a protective case for it? Well, the Launch Pro was built to withstand a direct ball strike, but the speed has not been confirmed. And the way that it's positioned, in order to hit it, you're going to have to hit a really bad hosel rocket. And by definition, hosel rockets are traveling much slower than a direct ball strike. So you're probably going to be safe. However, that being said, if you have guests over or you just don't trust yourself, it's probably a good idea to get a protective case based on how much this costs. There's ones that you can get out there. I think they're around $150, but that's a small price to pay to protect the unit. So before going further, I want to talk about the different types of launch monitors on the market today. And this is extremely important to make sure that you purchase the right launch monitor for your needs. So today there's two kinds of high-end launch monitors on the market, and it's camera-based and radar-based. So we'll talk about camera-based first. These are also, you'll hear these referred to as photometric launch monitors. That just means they use multiple high-speed cameras to capture the ball and club data. So what it does is it takes pictures at a very high speed before and after launch, and then it sends this data back to the unit, and they have software and algorithms that are able to calculate out the ball and club metrics and then display it on the unit or on your software. So the pros, these are great indoors. They're super precise just due to the fact that they need very little space to capture the data, which also means your overall space requirements are minimal. You don't need a lot of room to use this inside, just enough to swing a club. And most of these work really well inside and outside. Exception being SkyTrack is not great outside, but that's for another review. So cons with camera-based launch monitors. They're not quite as accurate outdoors as radar-based. We'll talk about that in a moment. Due to the fact they have to calculate the metrics versus tracking the entire ball flight like radar does. And they're not ideal if you have left and right-handed golfers playing at the same time, because you're going to have to move the unit. That can be solved by a mounted launch monitor, but that's also for a different review. And you're going to have to put markers on your clubs if you want to get club head data. So the second type of launch monitor is a radar unit. And so radar-based units use Doppler radar, and they measure the ball data and the club data through the use of radar sensors. So what they're designed to do is follow the entire flight of the ball until it lands. And when they have line of sight, they're super accurate. But they do require a clear view from behind the ball of the hitting zone and all the way until the ball lands. So they have massive space requirements. So the pros with radar-based units are they capture the entire ball flight. So they're not guessing or having to calculate out what's happening. They actually see it. So they're super accurate, especially outside. You also do not need markers on your clubs to capture club data, which is great. And left and right-handed golfers, not a problem at all because the unit sits behind the hitting zone, so you don't have to move it. Okay, so what are the cons? Well, the cons are large space requirements. So it basically needs to see entire line of sight of the ball to be very accurate. So because of this, though, they're not as accurate indoors as camera-based launch monitors, because they just can't see that entire ball flight. So they're having to do more calculations, and the unit is just not designed to do that. And also, a third con is fluorescent lights and fans can interfere with the operation. So if you're setting it up in an area that has that, you can run into problems. So the important takeaway from this, though, is you want to make sure that you figure out, okay, where are you going to use your launch monitor and how are you going to use it, so you make sure that you get the right type of launch monitor. All right, so let's talk about subscriptions and software that come with a Launch Pro. So it's super important to note that you get metrics without purchasing any subscription. So to be super clear on that, you actually are not required to purchase any subscription to use the Launch Pro. However, if you don't get a subscription, you will not get club metrics such as club path or angle of attack. Nor do you have access to any sort of online driving range or the ability to save metrics. You basically just get the external display and that's it. So you really need at least their basic subscription if you're going to use the unit. And one nice thing is they actually include 1 year of the basic subscription for free and then a 30-day trial of gold subscription. So you can test this out before committing to anything longer term. When you go with a basic subscription or a gold subscription, then you unlock all of the club head metrics. And the differences between basic and gold come down to some of the software features. So with basic, you get a program called FSX Pro. And what FSX Pro gets you is a single online driving range. So you go there, pick your clubs, hit balls, you save session data, you get detailed ball and club metrics, you get different visualizations, but you do not get any courses to play. So if you want to play online golf with your Launch Pro, Basic will not give you that feature. In that case, You need to upgrade to a gold subscription, and you get another piece of software in addition to FSX Pro called FSX Play. And what FSX Play gets you, of course, is courses to play is the main thing. So you get 10 courses to play. There's others available to purchase online, and you can download those. You get multiple driving ranges, so you don't just have one. There's others in there that you can download. There's games to play. They have skills tests. It's way more comprehensive than basic in FSX Pro. Let's go ahead and take a look at FSX Pro, the software you get with the basic subscription. And I'll get into the driving range in just a moment. You go ahead and you hit the FSX Pro performance analysis button here to get into that. But I want to show you session history first. So I'll click on that. Here's some shots that I've hit. And I'm going to click on load to load this data. And go ahead and hit continue. And now you have access to the shots that I hit during the session. So it's pretty cool. You can actually click on your shots, see the trajectory, and see all the stats on here. So I'll just pick a different shot and show you. There's different views you get in here as well. So if you click this button, I don't even know what this stands for, but it will show you from different angles. You can see your shot. And then with this particular selection tool, you can add different information in here. So you could take off different parameters here, add them in, like this adds in curve. And then there is a table view. So if you don't want to see the graphical representation, you can see each shot here with different statistics on it, including standard deviation of your shots. And there's a club view, which is also super interesting. So this gives you your club metrics to see exactly what was happening with your ball at impact. So you have a whole bunch of different options here. This software, it's really cool once it's loaded. The user interface is a bit clunky, I will say, but overall I like it. And there's a ton of information here, so it's great. So we'll go ahead and look at hitting some shots in the range now. All right, we're going to look at FSX Pro, the range session here, and I'll hit a few shots so you can see what's going on. So one thing to note about this is that you get instantaneous feedback from the Launch Pros. You can see as soon as I hit the ball, the club view updates almost immediately, which is nice. So you're not waiting around to see, a few seconds for the metrics. And the other point to note out here is that you can set the distance to the pin. So I preset this, I don't remember what it is, 95 yards maybe? But you can adjust this however you want. And you can go in and you can turn the club view on or off. You can change some of the metrics that are displayed. So this is customizable. This is the only range you get, the only software you get with the basic subscription. But you can use this for practicing. It's a good tool, and as I showed the historical sessions, there's some good information there that you can use to figure out what's going on with your swing. So it's basic driving range, but some powerful data behind it. FSX Play is the software that you get where you can actually play simulator golf. So in the courses section here, you see the library. These are the 10 you get with the gold subscription. There's a ton of other courses that you can pay and then you can download. So there's a huge selection here, but you do have to pay additional for those. The 10 are included in the gold subscription. So I'm going to go ahead and pick this course here, and I'll play this. I'm just going to take the defaults that it has. And it actually loads up pretty quick, as long as you make sure that you have a PC that meets the requirements. You're going to be fine. So, and you can adjust. So I didn't go and adjust any of these options. I'm just taking the course defaults here to play. So this is, you can turn the flyover on or off, but it gives you an idea of the hole. And I'm just playing this round with a 7-iron just to make it faster and easier. So I actually should have changed the club away from driver to 7-iron so that the stats were more accurate, but that can all be configured. The tiles that you see here can also be configured, so you can have fewer of those, or if you don't want to see any while you're playing. But it's fun software. I enjoyed it. One thing is, I don't typically spend a lot of time putting in simulator games, so I didn't do that here. I actually just used my wedge, so when you'll see the stats, they're way off for that. But I'm going to go into the analysis and show you a few options here. You get data per club, so you can see for the whole round all your shots. For each hole, you can see individual shots, and then you can see the visual of the club data. My impressions of it is it's good simulation software. I think it's pretty fun. Where it falls down is likely on the price. When you look at how much it costs for the subscription and what you get, the 10 courses, it falls behind competitors. So if you get it though, you won't be disappointed. I think there's better options though. Accuracy is the most important part of a launch monitor, and the Bushnell Launch Pro is built upon the GC Quad, which is generally regarded as the best camera-based launch monitor. This Launch Pro has incredible technology behind it. In comparisons to the TrackMan, the Launch Pro definitely holds its weight and is maybe 1% to 2% difference in metrics. It's really seen at the top end, where if you get someone hitting drives that carry 300, the TrackMan might come in at 295, whereas the Launch Pro, 300 to 302. Other than that though, for 98% of the golfers, this is an incredible choice and super accurate. So one of the big questions with the Launch Pro is, can you play with other software such as GS Pro or the Golf Club 2019? Officially, no. The only supported configuration is to use FSX Play, which requires a gold subscription. Unofficially, there are unsupported workarounds, but they do require a basic subscription. And it's important to note the workarounds could be removed in the future, so you need to keep that in mind. How do you decide if the Bushnell Launch Pro is right for you? Well, if you're going to use this indoors, it is the best option under $7,000. Plus, you can still use it outdoors, unlike SkyTrack, for example, which struggles in the sun. You also get club data with it. It has an external display, so if you don't want to fire up the projector and maybe you just want to hit into a net, you can still get readings. And it gives you instantaneous feedback. So as soon as you hit that ball, you get the metrics calculated on the external display, and you see the ball flight immediately when you're playing simulation golf. And it's built on the GC Quad, which is the best portable photometric launch monitor available. So what are the cons? Well, the subscription model to get full club data can be a con for some people. And you need to put stickers on the clubs for club data. And the other con is it doesn't come with self-leveling feet, which the unit needs to be at the same height as the ball. So I feel like this is an oversight, but it's a minor oversight. But to sum it up, if you're going to use this unit indoors, you absolutely cannot go wrong. As I mentioned, it is the best unit under $7,000 indoors and has incredible blend of features and accuracy. Thanks for watching.